What do Northwestern, Carnegie Mellon, Cornell, and Georgetown universities have in common? These are world-class universities with sprawling campuses in the United States and Qatar. Pearl diving was one of Qatar's main industries until the early 1940s when oil replaced it. During the 1950s and 60s, increasing oil revenues brought prosperity, rapid immigration, substantial social progress, and the beginning of the country's modern history. Early in 1995, His Highness Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, the Father Emir, shared a vision with Her Highness Sheikha Moza bint Nasser for a project that would provide Qatari citizens with a greater choice in education, health, and social progress than ever before. In August that year, they founded the Qatar Foundation for Education, Science and Community Development. And in 1997, the Education City was founded.
And it has been envisioned and designed to educate people not only within the classroom, not only in the content of their classes, but also with the atmosphere they're living in.
This is Noor Ala Abdul Zaid, an architect who has been a part of this journey for more than a decade.
This year it's going to be 10 for capital projects, 11 in Cuba. The project, when it was envisioned 25 years ago, was started with Qatar Academy as a school, and then the vision expanded to house a university that could give equity of education.
Now we have a 12 square kilometer campus which includes 6 international universities and a homegrown campus called the Hamad bin Khalifa University. Education City also has primary and secondary schools, one of which was Qatar Academy that was built in 1996.
The Education City has seen massive change over the years, with many land acquisition and developmental projects.
The first approved master plan was around 2003. It includes everything. It includes what Education City should be. And this master plan then has been developed through the years to include the new land acquisitions, include new requirements to reflect what is needed for the community, you know.
We are here at Green Spine. This is Education City's most important feature of its master plan.
And this is the first actually line that the architect drew for the master plan. It was the first concept. He drew the ceremonial green spine that identified the areas between high education and pre-university education, let's say.
Let's pause here. There is an exception to this statement. The Virginia Commonwealth College of Arts was built in 1997, way before the master plan came into being.
On this line, he actually positions two very emblematic facilities, the Qatar National Convention Center, and to the other end we have the ceremonial courtyard. So these two are an indoor and an outdoor celebration spaces.
So Shahan, how does it feel to be on the most important line of the Education City?
It feels amazing though. We can see the ceremonial court, the green spine, all across to the convention center.
So now we are going from the primary education area towards the higher education area.
So it's like 8 volumes of books. So each volume is dedicated to something. It indicates what has to be done in all types of terms, like heights, occupancy rates, traffic, sustainability, I don't know, name it. The gates, the entrances, the exits, the emergency things, like all these types of information is housed in these volumes, and these are used to direct the development of new projects.
This place has a lot of buildings, and each of them have their own specific personality to them. For example, the Northwestern University building that was designed by Antonio Braddock looks like the tip of a sword when viewed from top.
Yeah, and if you talk about the Northwestern building, for example, or any of the newer buildings, take the Qatar National Library, for example, there's so much use of glass, and that allows us to see the views from the outside. But if you talk about the Cornell building here, for example, it's a bit more plain.
These buildings that were new were very introvert, so that's why the new buildings all have a nice surroundings, and they are all have vistas and outward looking. But this one and last building are very introvert, so you do not see nothing of the outside because there was nothing to see outside. It was only it was going to be construction for several years, and the rest was sand.
This is Oxygen Park, one of my personal favorite parts of Education City. Despite the rough Qatari heat, the park is always kind of pleasant because of the wind.
Yeah, that is true. Sometimes it feels like there's an air conditioner out here.
Shahan isn't wrong. The covered walkways do have an air conditioner installed to keep the people who are exercising here cool. But there's also another reason for this.
Topography of the park, it has several levels and goes up and down, and this has been studied to attract the breeze, enhances the air circulation, and makes the atmosphere there better than in the surrounding areas.
There are so many tiny details in the design and architecture of Education City that really showcases the effort that was put into the entire design plan, and it showcases how important that is.
Spot on. And there are so many beautiful features of this place that sometimes, frankly, just get overlooked.
So it's like a museum of architecture, and they should feel very privileged to be studying and living in such an atmosphere.